We've been having a really good time this morning with my guest here, Erick Smithe with Cloudwalker tea. So I'm going to make this with 60 degrees centigrade water. This is going to be our Okumidori Okuda. So this is a hishaku, and it's meant for scooping the water out of your tea kettle and pouring it onto your tea.
Okay.
Bowls, you could choose something like this. This is a bowl from
looks like a modest bowl, more modest bowl.
We've switched from the chashaku to the measuring spoon.
Okay.
And then I found that a finer sieve improves on the flavor because you have more surface area exposed to that liquid, and so you get a nicer, richer extraction. I'm going to show you our style, knowing that you can obviously adjust this for the home. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the scale. Okay, I'm going to tare it. Then I'm going to take my matcha, and personally, I'm going to, rather than use that chashaku, I'm going to use this.
You're not going to freestyle?
I generally freestyle, but I'm not very good at it. Sometimes I get like 2.0 on the dot. My goal is 2.0.
And I noticed that you're not pre-warming the bowl. Is that?
It's because.
Is that just because of efficiency?
That is a fail. Yeah, that's a fail. So if I have, the honest truth is when the bowl feels cold to me, which it does right now, I should preheat it. And that's a good call. I didn't.
Well, you did get me with that 151 cheese mixture.
It's good. You got to get me with this. So one of the things you can do though when you preheat your bowl is you can also take the opportunity to whisk and sort of reduce the brittleness of the whisk because it has a chance.
Is that enough water? Does it have?
It is. Yeah.
It doesn't. I noticed. I remember Jared told me when I got a whisk from him the other day that not above the black line, or not submerging the black line in order to warm up the bristles. Because I noticed the first whisk that I had, I ended up breaking a couple of bristles because I wasn't doing as you recommend.
Whisks don't last forever. About 2,000 to 3,000 servings.
What?
I know. For these ones, a lot of whisks are only around like the 200 to 300 servings or even less.
Okay.
You do get what you pay for. There's a whisk I actually have. So that whisk we sell for $88, but you can get a whisk from Daiso in Richmond for $5,
which is different.
So when you look at the black fronds, you wanna go for a nice tight weave
and straight.
And then what that does, it allows for a circular shape to the fronds once you've got them wet.
Would both of these be handmade or would this be machine made?
This is probably handmade as well. And then if you've seen an oxygen absorber pouch in here, like you see, it probably hasn't been seasoned properly.
Okay.
It needs to season for at least a year before you cut into it. If you don't do that, then if you put it inside of a plastic container like this, it's likely to mold. Okay. So I have, I don't know, how's that view? Nobody can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to move this over here. People see that? Yes. Okay. So I put the matcha through the sieve, and then I'm going to add some hot water, 90 grams of it. You could do 60 grams over 1.5 grams of tea. That's another option if you want to go closer to what I think is what I've experienced with tea instructors. But I like to do 2 grams for my lattes. And I like to make things simple for my customers. Okay. So I've sort of made it a little bit more straightforward.
Right.
So I wonder if we have room there. I think we do.
Am I doing one too?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, careful.
I think we can do this. Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm going to whisk. Not the best view, but pretty good. And what I'm doing here, Eric, is I'm holding it perpendicular in the bowl. And I'm whisking for about 15 seconds of agitation. So, did you tear the scale?
There's a scale. I did do 1 level spoon.
Yeah. So, the issue with 1 level teaspoon is it is anywhere from 1.7 to 2.3 grams. And that variation is pretty significant. It's more than 10%.
Jared knows me well enough to know that I don't use
You're not going to use a scale. I don't think
you're
ever going to use
temperature controlled kettles.
No, you don't.
I use
So that's why
I used my ears.
So this is going to wreck Erick's system here because it's already temperature controlled at 60 degrees. And you want to fill it to 90 grams of water. So this is, again, a very different style. I know that in the tea world, it's much more, I think, sought after for folks to develop an intuitive approach. And I have huge respect for it. My style is definitely a little bit more numbers based.
I'm slightly over 90, but
that's okay.
May I use this whisk?
You can.
Should
I
use the Daiso whisk? Do you trust me?
You can do it.
I wouldn't.
You can do it. You want to? So I want you to stand up.
Yeah.
And then I want you to put the bowl on the ground.
Is there a certain?
Not on the ground. Sorry, on the bar.
Do I have to take a deep horse stance to do this?
I think that helps.
And
we've lost the vision.
So you can probably see my hands.
Yeah. In closer, if you can. There you go. Okay. And if you want to put the bowl on the bar, you move your hand out from underneath it, and then hold it. Awesome. And then rather than your arm being like that, you want a straighter arm. And how you achieve that is by moving your whisking hip away from the bowl a bit. So it's turning your body away. That gives you the longer arm. There you go. It doesn't have to be super extreme, but it does give you that room. You're on an angle right now. You want it to be straight and perpendicular. And then when you're whisking, that's looking better, but you want to keep going straight back and forth rather than it. You don't want the liquid to be turning in a circle. You want it to be vortexing into the center. So keep going like a pendulum, loose wrist, tight fingers, and you're trying to spill the liquid. That's looking really great. And then you do a gradual gathering in of the liquid. As you know, don't ever draw circles. Just keep going straight and back and forth. But move your way horizontally from side to side. There you go. And then gradually stop in the center. And then you pull up. So that's looking pretty good. So for
yours looks far better.
Well,
we won't lie.
If we look at it, so that is, I don't know if you can see that.
Mine has quite a range in sizes of bubbles. Yours is more uniform foam.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So that's hard to see though.
There's room for improvement, I admit.
Okay, but you know how we get rid of these little freckles of bubbles is it's a process called sliding.
Okay.
So you slosh in the center to sort of create froth, and then you slide at the end, which is these elongated ellipses as you lazily move from one bowl to the next, and then you're going to get that nice texture to your froth.
It looks much better.
Awesome.
This is the part where we cheers and clink priceless tea bowls together really hard.
That's right.
No?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
So if you were doing tea ceremony, they would actually have you remove your rings, actually, because they don't want it to. I never ask people to do that, but that is. I
can touch the bowl without clinking my rings.
There you go.
So I shouldn't have worn 3. 3 is too many.
We can always sell them for you. It's we take, you know, if people want us to, we can do that. It's a service that we offer.
Okay. Well,
we don't actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll keep them.
So we kind of,
and it's my understanding that Kyoto matcha is considered to be a high point in matcha by some people.
It is, I would say, the most famous region. I don't think it's necessarily the best.
Right.
I think that it comes down to a lot of factors other than just the terroir. You can make bad tea in Kyoto, of course. I mean, I'm sure there's some very famous pu'er production regions where the person just doesn't. They do a sloppy job.
Well, one example would be La Banzan, which is one of the most famous areas for pu'er, similar to like Bordeaux in France.
Yeah.
And you can get $10,000 a kilo tea, and you can get $20 a kilo tea. So just because it's from that region, it doesn't mean it's great.
So this is a great example.
Which is why I don't buy or sell tea based on region. And similar with you, we buy based on quality and sell based on quality. Could come from anywhere.
Yes, and I think that you build relationships based off of something very qualitative, where you've had really good teas from that producer many times, and then you get really excited about the relationship over time. So Fujioka-san is probably our oldest relationship that we continually have bought from.
Yeah.
we have bought from farmers before him, and we buy from other farmers since, but we continue to buy from him every year. And it's because he has great tea. And this Okumidori Okuda is single field, single cultivar. And I think that's really hard to find. I think there's when we were doing single cultivars in the beginning, it was still quite hard to find. It's getting a little bit easier to find single cultivar matcha, but I think single field is still something really special that we do. And the fact that we mill it here, but
this is magical.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. And so when you drink it, I think you really get that beautiful, rich umami. Like that's what really stands out for me. It's just this very thick texture that's floral and smooth
and highly transportative. Very like it becomes slightly difficult to remain like participatory in the conversation because you get this transported into a field and a tea field in Japan.
So when you're making this at home, you could do our steps, which is there's 4 of them. We prepare everything that we're going to work with, including our water temperature. We do our sort of dosing of the 2 grams and the 90 grams. Then our third step is we make it, and then we clean. As clean station, clean mind, right? But you end with the cleaning. How you clean is you want to just rinse this off under hot water or in a cup again. Or even when you're rinsing out your bowl, you can rinse out your bowl and you can whisk your whisk in there. It's not as arguably food safe because you've consumed liquid out of the bowl. So I wouldn't do that for a customer. But at home, you could totally do that, right? And then the other thing is, instead of my measuring spoon, you can definitely use your chashaku. I encourage it. You don't even have to use a sieve. I just think that it helps to improve on the texture. And it is, a lot of people are like, oh, that's not used in tea ceremony, but it is happening behind the scenes. So I like people to be aware of that. And then choose your bowl, right? Based off of aesthetics and how it's sort of put together. There's a lot of things you can do.
You're doing you show every aspect of the product to your customers, which is unique in a lot of ways, or uncommon to an extent. And you're also doing something which is extremely unusual, which is fresh milled matcha. So you're milling and then putting it right into the bowl, which creates just the peak experience.
That's really actually a new thing too. Like you can hear the mills going right now. That's why there's this kind of sound happening in the background for the whole session today. But the mill that we have on our bar, that actually is from a company called West in Shizuoka, Japan. And that one is just for my single doses. And so I'm doing 1 bowl at a time during our tea service on Fridays, and I'm super excited about that.
And you can come if you're in Victoria, you come in here. Jared doesn't know about this yet, but it occurred to me on the way down here. You can participate in the latest JagaSilk hashtag on Instagram, which is called Maccha Mustache. So you come in, you get a matcha bowl, you get the green mustache, you take your photo, and you tag JagaSilk on that.
Are you going to do it?
Well, that's why I grew this. I grew this in order to be able to capture more green.
Right, it's like a filter. It's a green. It's like your. Didn't Ned Flanders call it like his soup strainer? Yeah. That's what we got going on. I'm growing a really long soup strainer.
I wasn't able.
It's actually it's actually for saving soup for later. Yeah. Or matcha for later.
And you call me eccentric.
Right? Yeah. It's just, you just squeeze it out and then you're off to the races. But thank you for joining me today. I know it was impromptu. There was a number of interruptions today, but we made it through.
I had a good time as always.
I hope this is informative in some way, and that I'm sure you're going to develop your own style.
I'm going to take it and try to incorporate these techniques.
You can randomly throw in just as much as you want. You don't have to use a sieve.
Oh, I will.
You can stir it with your thumb, but you could also use that nice whisk that you now have.
Yeah.
And then I put the date on the bottom of my whisk so I can track how long they last me. Okay. Most people don't do that because why would you mark up something so beautiful? So anyway, I have my own eccentricities.
Well, having spent a lot of time and effort devoted to one particular type of tea, particularly Chinese tea and pu'er in particular, I'd like to at least be competent in this style of tea, which I currently don't feel that I am, but I feel like this lesson has benefited benefited me and given me just enough, like not too much information
But a
that
beginning.
can all be lost, but just like a starting point.
It is a lifetime.
Sure.
But I don't think there's any reason why you can't start now. Right?
No.
So and for me, I feel with puer, I feel so like my lack of knowledge is palpable to me, but it's very interesting to me. I love the study. I find that very interesting. And this, I continue. It's just so interesting how many layers you keep. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that. Or, you know, like things that happen year by year, farm by farm, technique by technique. It's quite fascinating. So anyway, so if people want to go to Cloudwalker, can you tell them where to go? Where are they going to find you and your project?
Cloudwalkert.com is the website, which we're still making some adjustments to, adding new teas all the time, and getting back to things like blogging and a new video series is in the works. I have braces on until next Wednesday. I won't be able to make our meeting next Wednesday, but
fair.
And I'm sort of waiting for them to come off before I start doing a lot of videos.
And that's my last Wednesday I'm available, and then I'm gone for a month.
Well, I could come on Tuesday, but I think you're going to be busy.
I'm going to be busy. So it's probably a good idea.
It's probably a mercy.
Yeah, we had our session.
Yeah, we're
all morning. We've been hanging out all morning.
It seems like a month's worth to be able to feels fortunate to be able to be able to get all these things done today. But really, really interesting, and I feel honored to have been able to use this bowl. It's fascinating.
Isn't it a beautiful bowl?
Yeah,
I love this bowl. Yeah, and again, for those who are watching, that's what it looks like. That's my bowl. This is the bowl that Eric was whisking in, and it's by Hiro-san, who's no longer, unfortunately, making pottery. Yeah. Lovely to have you. Thank you for coming in this morning, and Eric made some beautiful puer for our staff. I will be going away for a month. I should be doing some interesting shows from the road if I can.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to have been invited to be a part of a tea delegation to Bhutan. So we're going to go visit some farms in Bhutan. We're going to hopefully develop some relationships with some farmers, doing some really interesting stuff. We're going to hang out a bit in Bangkok, and then we're going to go to Japan. And while we're in Japan, if we can, we'll visit Fujioka-san. We might visit our friends in Mondokoro. We'll see what happens. But
some great potential for JagaVisions,
even
if you record them and then release them later.
And which is what we're doing. Our new series, again, for those who are watching, if you're watching part 2, you should go back and watch part 1 because they're divided into 2 and they get put up every Thursday at 2:00. Thank you to my guest Eric for joining me today. If you want to go and check out what we're up to, you go to jagasilk.com. The Okumidori Okuda is the tea that we're drinking right now. It's in our Eagle category. So we do have a subscription system you can sign up for if you want. We mill matcha and send you our choice of selection every month. It's like an edible magazine or a drinkable magazine. And you can get that as sort of like a subscription. It is a subscription. You can sign up for it. Highly encourage you to check it out. And you should do a puer subscription. That'd be cool. You know, it's just like, or like, what is it? Our friends at T-Can. They do a seasonal subscription, so they don't have to commit to that month. It'd be kind of cool to have like a group that just gets Eric's selections. I'd be in. I would so be in. But yeah, food for thought.
I have selections. They're called bricks and cakes,
and they're amazing.
Get yours at Cloudwalker.
Yeah, and you need to go there.
You won't be disappointed.
There's like $3,000 cakes on your site, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Anyway, all right, thank you, Eric.
But they're not all. They don't. There's also $145.
Yeah, they're not all
brick,
$3,000,
which is really.
They're very good.
The best tea guy in America raves about the bricks, which are available here. If you come on Fridays,
the best tea guy. Is there a best tea guy?
Well, I think he's the best.
Okay,
I'm in the position to make that judgment.
Okay. It's been a pleasure. Eric's the best. You're the best tea guy. What are you talking about? Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.